Welcome to Conversations with Terry McBride. This is video number 9, choice of emotional environment. Choosing what we're feeling. As we explore these ideas together, remember your purpose as you watch these videos is just to explore these concepts. And just notice whether you find anything that you think that you can use to improve the quality of your life. Because that's what these are about. You making your dreams come true. As we've moved through the various tools of choice, what we're exploring here is taking charge of our creative mind, taking charge of our consciousness. If consciousness creates reality, if it's done as I believe, then what are the tools, what are the concepts that I can use to start to take charge of my beliefs, my consciousness? And so we've moved through the idea of choice of destination. What are you focused on? Choice of action. Do you have a game plan that allows you to begin to think, I might be able to do this? And then if you did that, if you've taken the time to use the concepts we talked about, writing out what you want to do, what you might need to do to accomplish that, then the next idea was, what thoughts are you going to be thinking about? What self-talk is going on within your mind about you following through, doing what you need to do, and getting what you want? As I explored these various concepts of choice, and remember I started that when I was sick. In the very first book that I mentioned that somebody had given me, Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz is talking about how to take charge of our self-image, what we're calling consciousness, our belief systems. And what he says, I quote him in my book, Maltz says, our central nervous system cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real experience. Now, I wasn't sure what that dealt with. It was just theory to me. But as I began to study and read other books, I found that this idea of taking charge of our imagination, the image-making part of the mind, that was the technique, if you will, that the masters used. I'm not sure that those masters in the old days who could heal or do this or use the power of their mind, I'm not sure that they had written in specific goals, they had written in specific plans, they were doing affirmations every day, and then they had the ability to just go imagine something as so. And the theory was, if they could imagine it vividly enough, they could record things in their consciousness as true. My problem as I read these various books was many times they said I was supposed to see the end result. I was supposed to imagine the end result in real vivid detail. Well, first of all, I didn't daydream in pictures. I daydreamed in words. Some people are more kinesthetic. They sort of feel their daydreams. And so it was difficult for me to just go imagine this outcome without giving any concern about how I was going to get there, and be able to hold it with such clarity that I would begin to feel and believe that was true. I just had too many yeah buts. I'd go try and imagine the outcome. I'd go, yeah, but what about this, and what about this, and what about this? But as I began to weave the tools together, as I've spoken to in the previous videos, I found that when I had a written and specific, this is what I'm moving to, then if I took time to lay out a plan of action that I thought, well, that roadmap, if I follow that roadmap, I think I might be able to get there. Then when I started using the idea of affirmations or choosing my self-talk to support me doing the action, and when I did the action, I thought I would get there. When I had that stuff laid out in front of me, it was easier for me to use my imagination, not necessarily beginning with the outcome. I would use my imagination to daydream that I was following through. Daydream or imagine that I was doing the map. I was going up here, taking this turn, do that. And what that allowed me to do as I began to weave these tools together was I began to feel the truth of what I was moving to. It's one of those things that can be challenging to express in words. It's one of those things where you just got to go do it. It's like trying to explain to somebody how to skip rope. I mean, the words are sort of, but it's the action, actually stepping up and trying to skip rope. Stepping up and using your imagination in conjunction with your written goals, your written plan of action, that all of a sudden you begin to sense that you can create feelings. The ancient writings talk about know something, know the truth and it shall set you free. What the tools do as you begin to weave them together is to get a sense of knowing that you're on track, knowing that you're making a difference. And remember, you just start where you are. Whatever's up for you, use the principles on that. And as you begin to weave them together, what you will understand is that you will feel that you are making a difference. And you can begin to record things in your mind, in your consciousness, simply by integrating your choices. That's what these tools are about. They allow you to start right where you are and begin to take charge of your mind, to begin to take charge of your personal will, your focus, what you're doing, what you're thinking. And then you combine that with taking charge of your imagination, in that now you go imagine or a guided daydream about this choice of destination, action, and mental environment. And you begin to really feel that you're making a difference, that you begin to feel that what you do will allow you to begin to move to what you want in your life, instead of just struggling against what you don't want. When you bring in visualization, this idea of using your imagination, you taking charge of the image-making part of your mind, when you weave that together with written goals, plans, and affirmations, when you've coordinated that, you begin to understand and feel that your dreams are coming true. You are the writer, the director, and the star of your own movie. That's what visualization is about. The other thing I want to talk about in this video, this choice of emotional environment, what we're feeling, is the idea of Thanksgiving. Throughout all the writings, especially the spiritual writings, there's a great deal about give thanks first. And when I was growing up, it seemed it was always about giving thanks. As I began to study more, I began to understand that it wasn't so much about giving thanks as it was about feeling thankful. And as I studied, I began to understand that the mind and the body doesn't usually move into feeling thankful unless something's true. You may hope, you may be excited about it, you may be on track, and we tend not to move into Thanksgiving until it's a done deal. So what the idea of visualization or using your imagination is, when you tie it together with these other tools, it allows you, as you're imagining it, to begin to feel that this is going to happen. And when you get that as good as you can get it, go feel thankful that it's true. Just feel thankful for 30 or 45 seconds. Just feel in yourself this, what it feels like to be thankful about your life becoming what you want. And when you begin to integrate this last tool of choosing what your mind is imagining, you begin to understand how powerful you are, how capable you are. Now, again, the question for me was, yes, but will I use these tools? Will I stay on track? When I got to this idea of choosing what I'm imagining, what I found was I could pretend that I was setting goals. I could pretend that I was taking time to write out what I wanted. I could take time in my imagination because it was easy to daydream, but my daydreams just went wherever they were going to go. All I had to do was start daydreaming about the things I wanted to do. I could daydream that I was writing a plan of action, that as I was working on that daily, that I was getting more and more about how I might be able to accomplish this. I could daydream about choosing my mental environment, choosing what books I was reading, what movies I was watching. I could begin to daydream about being careful of where my mind was going. Remember I talked about the negative monitor. I could daydream that my negative monitor was reminding me not to go down this poor me path. And what happened when I brought in visualization, this idea of imagining something, because imagine, if you break it up, it's spelled I-am-a-genie. Now, I'm not sure that's really what the spelling is meant to say, but what it reminded me was that I can do magic. I can use these tools together, and especially with my imagination, to begin to choose my focus, my action, my thoughts, and my feelings. And as I began to do that, I understood that I could create a new consciousness. I could write a new story for myself. My story was still going to run my life, but with these tools, I was now able to write a new story, to begin to believe that it might be possible for me to make a difference. What do you think would happen if you just took 10 or 12 minutes a day and systematically started using these tools? What do you think would happen if you had a system that you've developed to allow you to stay focused? Think about that. Daydream about using these tools. Close your eyes and imagine being on track and creating the life that you've always wanted to have. I send you love. I send you joy. And I send you power.